Hello, this is Mari Elaine on the Buying Space channel. Today I'm reading from the Torah, and the Torah is the first 5 books of the Bible. Protestants and Catholics call it the Old Testament. Jewish people call it the Torah. It's also called the Pentateuch by Greek Orthodox and other Orthodox churches. So what the first 5 books of the Bible are called varies from denomination to denomination. I would refer it, this first book of the Torah, as Genesis. And I think every interpretation of what the first 5 books of the Bible are called would also call this book Genesis. And it stands by itself, as do all books of the Bible. And I last time read, now you can see the Hebrew is on this side, and the English translation Hebrew is on this side. All of my other Bibles I do have additional copies of. I don't have another Torah. So you might see me get close to the book and touch it more and be closer to the book than I normally am, because I usually have, when I'm reading out of the King James Version of the Bible, I have a King James laying here, and I have a King James in my hands as well. But this is the only copy I have, so this is a little bit more of an intimate reading. And Abraham took another wife, and her name was Keturah, and she bore him Zimran, and Yokshan, Medan, Median, and Yishbank, and Shemach. And Yiksham begot Sheba and Dedan. And the sons of Dedan were Ashurim, Letshiam, Lepiam. And the sons of Median, Epath, Epher, and Chinook, and Abida, and Eldah. And these were the children of Keturah. And Abraham gave all that he had unto Isaac, who was the son of Rebekah, his first wife. And to the sons of the concubines that Abraham had, Abraham gave gifts, and he sent them away from Isaac his son, while he was yet living eastward into the east country. This was also a tradition in my family. My Miller ancestors lived in Monroe County, and the oldest son inherited the land, and the rest of the brothers moved on to what is now known as Boone County, West Virginia. So Abraham did the same thing. His oldest son, by his first wife, inherited. He gave gifts to the rest and sent them on their way. So this is a very old tradition of inheritance. It's very sexist too, because the women didn't inherit anything. They received what was ever part of their husband's household, as long as their husband was living. And these were the days, the years of Abraham's life, which he lived, 175 years. Then Abraham expired and died in a good old age, where an old man full of years, and was gathered to his people. So that was the life of Father Abraham. And his son Isaac and Ishmael buried him in a cave of Melchipeth in the field of Ephron, the son of Zohar the Hittite, which is before Mamre. And I believe him and Sarah, his first wife was Sarah. If I said it differently before, I'm sorry. Are buried there till this day. The field which Abraham purchased from the sons of Heth, there was Abraham buried, and Sarah his wife. That's the very next verse. And I did not, my apologies, I did not pre-read this. So I may state knowledge is also quoted in the scripture later, just like I did. And it came to pass after the death of Abraham that God blessed Isaac his son, and Isaac dwelt by the well of Lasharani. Now these were the generations of Ishmael, Abraham's son, who Hagar the Egyptian, Sarah's handmaiden, bore unto Abraham. And these are the names of the son of Ishmael. It's interesting that Isaac's descendants formed 12 tribes, and Ishmael had 12 princes. By their names, according to the generations, the firstborn of Ishmael, Nebaioth, and Kedar, and Abel, and Midsam, and Dumar, and Massa, Chadad, and Tema, Yetor, Napish, and Kidimah. These were the sons of Ishmael, and these were the names of their towns, and by their castles, 12 princes according to their nations. And these were the years of the life of Ishmael, 137 years. And he departed the life and died, and was gathered unto his people. And they dwelt from Cavilah to Sur, that is before Egypt, as thou towards Assyria. Among all his brethren he settled. So these are the foundations of the Arab nations. Now there were other civilizations before Abraham. There was a pre-Canaanite society, and there were other societies. But in general, these are the Arab nations. And the daughters of Lot also are of the Arab nations. So that pretty much geographically defines the Middle East still today. And, it's very interesting to look at a map. I like watching those videos where they show the territories changing. We were having a discussion on Lobster's channel the other night about Czechoslovakia. And someone had said the two countries that had broken into, but I said there were 6 territories. And when Lobster read the information about it, it said there were 14. But I think what happened is, as time passed, there were originally 6 territories, and this divisions and splitting among the people continued. And I also mentioned Milosevic because, power corrupts. It doesn't matter who you are. And the leader of Czechoslovakia, I believe it was in the 90s, was Milosevic, and he was Christian. And he genocided the Muslims in that country. It's not okay to genocide people. It's not okay what Putin is doing to the Ukraine, and it wasn't okay for Milosevic to kill Muslims. And I had to come back from California one time, and I had a cab driver, and he was from Czechoslovakia. And I said, I guess you had to leave Czechoslovakia. And he said, yes, but not for what you think. He said, I'm Christian. But he had a Muslim surname, a common Muslim surname. Even though he was Christian, he had to leave because what the government did there, under Milosevic, under Christian control, is they expunged all the records of every Muslim. And since his family had a Muslim surname, they expunged all of their records too and made them non-existent, even though they were Christian, just based upon their surname. And their family had converted to Christianity or had been Christian all along. Maybe, for generations upon generations, or maybe it was just one generation they were Christian. But, it's just kind of like getting killed by friendly fire. Your existence being erased. Even if somebody didn't kill you, just imagine not being able to have identification in any country in the world, in this century. So they had no choice but to leave, even though they weren't the people that were, they were trying to eliminate and kill. So, all those people today in the Ukraine, even the people that had been supportive politically of the Soviet Union all along, they're all still dying and having to evacuate and be refugees. Because Russia doesn't care that you've been loyal to her. They don't have some kind of list of people that spoke up on social media for Russia. You know, you're Ukrainian, you are a target. And if you were Muslim or had a Muslim surname in Czechoslovakia, you were a target. So there's no individual, oh, I'm an exception to the rule. Hate is hate, hate is intolerable, hate is unacceptable, genocide is unacceptable, and we need to have world peace. And all of this is blatantly just about money. It usually is, but this time it's just very blatant. NATO troops, Ukrainian troops, were not going into Russia. This is all about natural resources. And there's no way to paint a more uglier picture than to say the truth, but that's what it is. You can debate about NATO doing this or that all you want. Putin's a dictator. He's evil. He's just taking what he wants because he has this ideal of Russia, the Russian Empire from when it was the USSR in the 1980s and before. Russia will never be the USSR again because the world won't let it happen. Have a wonderful and blessed day, everyone.